Okay, guys, welcome back to the Crypto Report. Everybody, hope you all are doing wonderful out there today. It is a Monday. We are live at the Crypto Report, and there is an insane story going on right now. The president just attacked Fed Chair Jerome Powell using the DOJ. What is going on here? And what comes next during this live stream? We are going to try a little bit of live trading with you guys. We're going to use some look for some positions live with you guys. Do some live positions, some live leverage, play the game, show you how we've been playing the game a little bit. Yeah, let's do it, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I do want to talk about a few stories to kind of kick this thing off. Let's get right into this concept. Okay, so I want to kick things off with the conversation on a Bitcoin and crypto super cycle. Uh, this is the crypto report on crypto. Okay, we're very bullish on crypto here. However, we also kind of called the top. If you look back at what's been going on in the crypto space, and you just look at the chart. By the way, if you guys want to join our private Discord, we do have a sign up link for Blofin in the description of your video. In this video, what does that have anything to do with our private Discord? Well, when you sign up for Blofin, you don't even have to trade, but when you sign up, you will get access to our private Discord. So check that out if you haven't done so already. We have been paying attention to these markets since 2016, me and Blacksea. We started this channel at the bear market, mid bear market, I believe, in 2022, kind of in the middle of the bear market, right after the top was in. And we tracked this entire last bull market on this channel. And for those of you guys that have been here since those times, you've seen us go through this entire bull market. And actually, see, that's what the circle is. This is basically when we started the channel, and I think we're kind of right in that same moment right now. I think we're in a dead cat bounce of sorts. I think we're about to do a double top, and I think this is our dead cat bounce, and we're coming down, and I think we kind of have the same. There's your double top, and there's your dead cat bounce, and I think we're going to come down and hit somewhere below 75K. That's my personal opinion. And, I say that because so far what we've said where bull markets last 1,070 days, that's been true. I mean, if you look at the bottom of this last bear market and to where we're at today, the thing lasted about, 1,060, 1,070 days just about. And that is a 4-year cycle. Some people are calling for this, super cycle. The crypto super cycle's here. I believe it. The classic cycle's dead. Look. Oh, look. Fidelity is explaining why Bitcoin might be entering a super cycle. When the billionaires and when the banks start telling you that you should get in, usually they're too late, or maybe they're right on time. But as retail traders and investors, I think we are late if we're coming into this crypto market now when it's historically supposed to be a bear market and Bitcoin's supposed to be collapsing further. And the institutions are telling you to buy, buy, buy. It's a super cycle. It's a super cycle. Wild, right? Why might they be doing that? Well, Layla Halpern, who's quite a large influencer in the crypto space, had something that I agree with. Banks want you to buy so they can dump on you. And she puts out this video explaining this concept. And the concept is when you look at these banks telling you to buy right now, and the price action in crypto is like dead to non-existent, just like taking a peek at gold and silver exploding right now, the stock market exploding right now, crypto is calm to flat. We're in a bear market and the banks are telling us to buy. I kind of liken this to when Gary V, I believe it's Gary V. If you guys know who Gary V is, well, if you don't, he's a very, very rich guy saying, oh, it's so silly for you to be renting or to be buying a property. Nobody should be buying a house in 2025, 2026. Instead, you should just be renting. And he's got this whole reason for it. That guy does not have my best interest at heart. And that's, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. for the record, I'm not here to give financial advice. Do your own research as always, my friends. I strongly disagree with the renting philosophy. I am a big fan of buying a house. Houses are only going to get more expensive. Who knows what's going to happen with the interest rates, but houses are only going to get more expensive. And you have institutions like BlackRock and some of the big entities out there that are just buying up all the real estate so that we can be trapped in a renter's prison. And eventually you won't have any choice except to rent. Even if you wanted to buy a house one day, it'll be almost impossible to do it. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are trying to buy a house. They got plenty of money. They got no problems. They're struggling to buy a home. Why? Because of inventory and because of demand. And it's hard because there's just not enough inventory. And I think this is terrible advice. And so when you listen to these billionaires and these rich people say, do this, I got to take a pause. And I just got to think, do they really have my best interest at heart? And I also go back to the famous example of, do you remember when Kevin O'Leary and Mr. Wonderful and Mark Cuban came out and said, oh, crypto's such a scam, crypto's so stupid, secretly? I mean, they literally were doing one thing publicly, saying one thing publicly and doing the other thing behind closed doors. They were buying cryptocurrency secretly while they were telling you that crypto was, bad as a box of rocks. Banks are doing the same thing. They want you to buy right now so they can make a ton of money. And then guess what? They're going to offload the bags that they allocated in the bull market during this institutional bull run. And they're going to dump on retail investors. And guess what? Then they're going to drive the prices higher. And we're going to go right back into the same cycle. This is my belief right now. Going to be very hard to sway me from this belief. I believe we are in a bear market. And I do believe that right now, this whole concept of this crypto super cycle is extremely dangerous for retail investors. I think that it's really not a good thing that we're all hyped up about a super cycle right now. You have some people that believe it. I do not. I will continue to not, and I may believe it when I see it kind of guy when it comes to these crypto cycles, because I've paid attention to crypto since 2016, and I've seen a trend that is rather consistent, and we're still holding that trend, which is this bull phase and this bear phase. And during the bear phase, every single time we have people that are in disbelief and can't even believe. They refuse to believe that we're in a bear market. And there's a lot of very bullish factors, by the way, and I'm aware of that. Like the DOJ, we're going to get to this in a second. There's a lot of very bullish factors, though, where the president's going to replace Fed Chair Jerome Powell. A new financial system is coming. There's people in the XRP community that are always talking about this new financial system because XRP Army believes that XRP is going to be the center of the new financial system, which I think it's going to be a part of it. I do not believe it's going to be the center of it. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin and a lot of the top projects like XRP and Solana and Crow and so many other big plays. And I know that even memes like Pepe and so many others will pop. But I also understand that even though we have a bright future for cryptocurrencies and we do have a new financial system coming, there's a lot of craziness and there's a lot of uncertainty. And what's everybody making of this right now is so wild to see. This new story, Jerome Powell says that the DOJ is threatening him and the Fed with criminal charges for refusing to reduce rates. That is what the Fed came out with his video to specifically address this. Unbelievable. Let's look at both sides of this coin. First of all, if Jerome Powell is in the wrong here, then is the DOJ going to sentence them with criminal charges? Is Fed Chair Jerome Powell going to go to jail? What did Fed Chair Jerome Powell do? Is he politicized? Is he using his position in office as the head of the Fed to play political this or that? Is there proof behind that? If that is the case, then what is the Fed? Is the Fed just an extension of big money, and is the whole market completely manipulated? Some people will just instantly say, well, yeah, duh, of course. And others will say, well, no, the Fed is an independent party. Well, what is true? Because if this is true, and these are all allegations, this is all, kind of all being aired out in the public right now. If Jerome Powell is going to get hit with criminal charges and this happens, then we might see a world where we abolish the Fed. If we abolish the Fed, what does that mean for the U.S. national debt? What does that mean for the money printer? What does that mean for the U.S. dollar? I mean, it's very uncertain, and maybe those could be catalysts that could drive the crypto market extremely high, and that would be a catalyst, which would be something that, I don't know if anybody was going to be predicting that. That's so wild, but that could be quite bullish for Bitcoin. If they abolish the Fed, then Bitcoin becomes a lot more relevant, in my opinion. Let's look at the other side of this coin. What is the president doing here? If Jerome Powell is innocent and these charges are just a political game from the president because he's not getting what he wants. The president wants the reduction in rates. The Fed might be in the right here for not reducing those rates. Should the Fed be beholden to the president? Some people argue yes, some people argue no. If the Fed is supposed to be some independent thing and they're not lowering rates because they don't think it's in the best financial interest of the country and the Fed as a whole, the president is probably in the wrong here then, in that case. And these criminal charges are in a political weapon of sorts, which that's not good either. Now, if that's the case, and Jerome Powell is proven right here, that actually could be a rather bearish catalyst for the markets, in my opinion. That's my opinion for Bitcoin. However, this uncertainty, if it goes away, whether Jerome Powell is guilty, whether the president is wrong, and these criminal charges get rejected by the DOJ, and this isn't real. I think this going away in general, one way or another, will be sort of relief for the market. I think these stories, as they come out, cause a lot of fear. The Venezuela thing, that kind of caused a pump in the market. This is kind of caused a pump this morning. Now it's kind of stuck. We're not really seeing any kind of breakout for Bitcoin right now. I am going to be looking for some sort of trade, guys. I'll be looking at Bitcoin here during this video. I'll be looking at XRP. I'll be looking at a lot. We're seeing a lot of this crazy stuff on these news stories. Boom, a pump, and then smack right back down. Boom, a pump, and then smacked right back down. Boom, a pump, and smacked right back down. This keeps happening. I'm not going to be surprised if Bitcoin comes back down to $90,000. So much of me kind of wants to open up another short to just bring Bitcoin back to $90,000. I think that's where it's coming. But I'm going to take a peek more at that here in a minute. I'm just kind of talking through the news for the day. And by the way, if you guys do want to do some trading, in the description of these videos, if you're speculating and you want to do some trading, there's a link to sign up for a lot of exchanges. Blofin, though, when you sign up for Blofin, you will get access to our private Discord totally for free. You don't even have to trade over on Blofin if you want access to our private Discord. So check that out if you haven't done so already. Okay. This is such a crazy, guys. If the president has, evidence that Jerome Powell is a bad actor, that's wild. And if the president is just using the DOJ as a political weapon to get what he wants, that's not good either, because he was complaining about the same thing during his presidency and some of the attacks on him, which we don't need to get into any of that, whether you agree with the president or disagree with the president. I'm just kind of thinking about the way that I've seen the president speak about the DOJ, and if he's using the DOJ as a political weapon, regardless if it's for right or for wrong, it's happening. If it's happening, wow, what a wild time. Now, very interesting as well. I want to share this story with you guys. A lot of you guys know the crypto industry is kind of not a fan of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, I think, as a whole. Jim Cramer is kind of a guy where he comes out and says, whatever he says, the opposite is true. If he says he's bearish on the markets, then you should be bullish on the markets. And if he says he's bullish on the markets, you should be bearish on markets. Well, how about this? Jim Cramer says Jerome Powell has been a fantastic Fed chairman. Does that mean that he's a bad Fed chairman? I just think this is so interesting how this is all shaping up right now. Who's taking what side? It's going to be a very interesting story to continue to track. But please remember, guys, regardless, we are going to be seeing the president finding a new replacement this year for the Fed, regardless if the Fed goes to jail or not, which, wow, this story is crazy, guys. I just can't even handle it right now, to be honest with you. It's so much. Another thing the president's doing right now is he is doing a lot to inject money into the economy in the sense of reducing taxes. It seems like, he's also doing some very interesting things. Like the president now says credit card companies will be in violation of the law if they charge over 10% interest rates after January 20th. Now, in this video, let's go ahead and play. Do I have this video pulled up? Yeah, there you go. Let's play this clip. Let's listen to the president. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Okay.
I want a cap on credit card interest rates because, some of them are 28, almost 30%. And that, people don't know they're paying 30%. The people out there, they're working, and they have no idea that they're paying 30%. No way. We're putting a 1%, and that's it. They know it. They've really
a 1-year cap at 10%, claiming that credit card companies have abused the public. And he said, I'm not going to let it happen. It's interesting because, if people are putting less money towards paying down the high interest on their credit cards, what does that allow? Hypothetically, it could allow people to put more money into the economy, into the stock market, into crypto. I talked with Blacksea about this actually this morning, and a good point to think about with this as well. People that are in credit card debt, are they investing? Are they making good financial decisions? Are they paying off those? And are they paying off that debt anyway? Or is that just going to be a debt snowball no matter what? How much of an impact is this actually going to have in crypto? Probably not a ton, but still there's a lot of different things that are going on that would stand as evidence for this concept of this super cycle that gets talked about so much, which again, I don't believe, but I do believe that there is a chance that the bear market is not as bad as previous bear markets have been. I do believe that, this is a very bullish time for crypto. It is amazing that all the different financial institutions that we have talked about, BlackRock and Fidelity are bullish on crypto, but the timing of when they're saying it, makes me think they just want to dump on us, to be honest with you. However, I do believe there will be a big rally. And I don't think that the retrace, we have diminishing returns in the crypto market, but we also have diminishing losses. Okay. This is funny. Breaking, if Bitcoin loses support at 90,400, it could hit 90,389. We've had like no volatility lately outside of these price areas. It's just been chip chop right around these areas. Let's do a little bit of TA, and I can just see, so here's the 15-minute candles. Here's something you can quickly just peek at, right? Okay, a little bit of a wedge playing out, very, very quick, super easy. Logically, you see this and you go, well, maybe there's some sort of opportunity here, right? Let's just take a peek. This is me doing a little TA over on Blofin. This is the most basic TA you could possibly do. Now I'm down to the 5-minute candles. The 5-minute candles here would tell you, okay, well, maybe we are finding a little bit of a level of resistance here. If you wanted to, you could potentially be looking for a little short opportunity for it to bounce there, find a little breakout. Maybe it's going to break up. Maybe it's going to break down. If I had to guess, I'm going to say this is probably going to break down. And I say that just because had a little bit of a spike up today on some of this news. Maybe it's going to cool off. The evidence for Bitcoin to go up here, in my opinion, I'm talking short term right now, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice here. You do kind of see Bitcoin scooping up. I wouldn't be surprised to see it retest 94K. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised to see it breakthrough, and maybe this becomes our dead cat bounce, right? Maybe we have this breakthrough, retest, dead cat bounce, hit 100K, bear market, right? I'm ready for all that. Just looking at some close-up time frames, let's do it. Let's keep looking. Let's go down to some of this. Let's get rid of these. Let's do a little TA. How you guys doing? Smash the like button. Leave a comment in the live chat. I'm a little bit sick today. I got a horrible headache, a little bit of a sore throat going on right now. So I'm just barely hanging in there, but we still wanted to get that live stream out on that Monday. I'm doing these Monday live streams for you guys. So subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this crypto content. Absolutely appreciate each and every single one of you guys coming out this morning. Marty Mack says, it's just being investigated. He's overreacting big time like he was criminally indicted. Yeah, well, I mean, you wonder, why he's doing it. It is this weird game of it's politics, man. I think there is some politics in this one way or another. Very political time, very crazy. Very crazy. Yeah. Oh, is this not over on oh, it is over on Rumble right now. That's good. Okay. All right. Well, shout out to all you guys in the chat. Let's look at some different charts here. Let's look at the XRP. Maybe we'll try to find a little bit of an XRP trade here, huh? What do you say? What do you say? Look at this volatility, guys. Look at this volatility. Whoa, whoa, whoa. These moves are just wild. These are wild moves. Probably a little bit of, as you can see, like XRP was chop in there for a minute. Definitely a level up there. Resistance, heavy resistance here at 210 right now. What's going on? Just look at this. Getting smacked down. 210. Close to 210. 210. 210. A little bit on that bounce off the top side of it. 210. Here we go. A little bounce. 210. Here's 210. You see that? So right at about $2.10. Little levels, support and resistance. What else have we got cooking here? Looks like some other levels around 207 has been a number that I'm kind of seeing somewhere around 207. You can see rounding out there. Looking at some of that action right now. Not any sort of obvious wedge pattern playing out right now. Let's look at the very low time frames. Let's go down to the 5-minute time frame. Let's see what we can see for that right now. Nothing glaring in my mind at this very moment. Very strange pattern, very news-based moves. Not going to be surprised to see XRP come back down and revisit like $2, call it, 203. Nothing decisive here. Feeling troublesome and trying to take a position on XRP right now. XRP, kind of a no man's land. Bitcoin, kind of a no man's land. Honestly, feeling slightly more bullish on it in terms of, long position or short position right now. Probably feeling more like a long is the zone right now. Here is, let's look at this actually. This is an interesting chart. Here is, what is this? Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum. Okay. Looking at ETH, kind of got this wedge going on for ETH right now. ETH looks like it might want to come back down to test the bottom of this range, but it's kind of in the middle. So it could easily break up here and retest here, or it could break down. So again, what I'm doing when I'm looking for trades is I'm not looking for something that's in the middle of no man's land. I'm looking for it like as it's hitting the bottom, hitting the top. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not doing your financial advice, but if you've been in our private Discord, this is kind of the way that we've been doing our trades. These are a lot of the trade signals that we're giving is we're looking at these markets like this. I got a request in the chat to look at Jasmy. We could take a peek at Jasmy. I know Jasmy's just been getting crushed, right? Yeah, generally pretty crushed. Look at that giant wick to the downside. I would say that Jasmy, more likely than not, is hitting a level of overbought right now, probably. If I had to take a guess, those are some pretty big candles here. Probably a little overbought right now, a 67%, 70% pump in just a few short weeks here. Let's look at the daily time frame for Jasmy. Okay, maybe some sort of wedge forming there. Let's go down to the hourly. Yeah, a little bit of a wedge forming perhaps for Jasmy here. Let's take a peek at that. Kind of not the cleanest, not very clean. Let's go down to the 15 minutes, see if this is a little cleaner. Yeah, not the cleanest. Definitely not the cleanest. Just a little bit more on the bottom side of it. Kind of a wedge, kind of playing out. Not very strong. Not very convinced on this. Not very convinced on this, but if I had to venture a guess, I mean, first of all, it all follows Bitcoin. Even if this breaks a little bit higher, my position is I do believe we are in a bear market. Even if this breaks a little bit higher, I do believe that it would end up getting fizzled out and coming back down. As long as Bitcoin is still in the bear market trend right now, Continuing to look for other trades. Let's see here. Dogecoin kind of spilling back down. Dogecoin is in a huge wedge that I've been looking at for the last few years. Going to keep that alive for a while. Let's go down to the 5-minute candle, see if we can find a little bit more. I'm looking for trades right now. I'm trying to find some trades here on the 5-minute time frame. Pretty obvious little wedge here for Dogecoin. Boom. Very, very straightforward. Very straightforward. So this is the little stuff that you can actually find some trades on, in my opinion. Now, these are more the short-term plays, right? So logically, I look at this and I'm like, okay, well, maybe Dogecoin wants to come down, revisit the bottom of this range. That being said, these are the 5-minute candles, and what, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 20, in at least 20 minutes, I would expect Dogecoin to either go up or down out of this range pretty significantly one way or another. And that would make sense. I doubt that Dogecoin comes out of this wedge and just chops. Rarely does that ever happen. That happens when there's not a lot of money moving around in the market. And there's not as much in the bull market, but Dogecoin is a big coin. It wouldn't be logically sensible, in my opinion, for Dogecoin to kind of fizzle out to the side like this. It does that when there's not a lot of big patterns going on, but we kind of see, at least on the 5-minute time frame, there is some sort of wedge playing out where you're either going to break up or down out of this. Again, if I had to venture a guess, if Bitcoin is looking like it wants to move up, then I would say that there's a chance that we could kind of get some of the other coins to move up as well. That being said, I did find this little bit of a wedge here. If Bitcoin is going to reject out, okay, hypothetically, this could be a zone for potential short position, right? And I say that because, again, looking at the Bitcoin 5-minute charts, if Bitcoin's going to break down, it would hypothetically be rejecting right here. So let's play a little game. Let's play a little game. I'm going to open up. Here's what I'm going to do. All right. I'm going to open up a little position here. I'm going to open up a little bit of position here. We're just going to play the game. I'm going to show you guys. This is a 20x short. Just entered it on Bitcoin again, because it's up at the top of the range. Now, I don't want to risk a lot. That's pretty decent sized leverage. I don't think it would, if it's going to go higher, it's going to break through, it's going to break out. I'm going to set a stop loss, $82 in the red. Okay. This could easily get stopped out. I've also got $31 in fees. So I'm risking 100, but I could lose this trade. I kind of don't feel great about this trade, but I wanted to open up a trade right now. And I've got a little bit of, level of resistance to potentially play with on this 5-minute wedge, maybe for Bitcoin. So open it up, risking $82 plus $31 in fees, $110. I've been profiting greatly on a lot of these trades lately. And so I'm just going to give you an example of a quick little scalp trade. In the way that I'm playing the game, this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research, my friends. You got to pick your own trades. You got to pick your own levels. And, this isn't designed so you mirror this trade or anything. You do your own plays, play your own game. But this is kind of what I've been doing. I've been opening up trades with relatively high leverage lately with pretty tight stop losses, but only when I'm finding these coins, whether it's Bitcoin or whatever, hitting, the top or the bottom of a range, and then just playing that range. This could be the very moment, the worst moment to be maybe making this trade, because maybe this is going to break out of this wedge right now. Maybe not. Had a little bit of a pump this morning on the Fed Chair Jerome Powell news, and I think we're probably playing a little chop until we probably break down on the day. On this other chart, I did see that Bitcoin just kind of does look like it's rounding out, and so I'm not feeling super confident right now. So I didn't go all in. I'm not using insane, crazy leverage. I'm just using like a nice sizable position with a very tight stop loss here, just to see if we can make a couple $100, really a couple $100 very quickly. Set your stop loss, leave it in the profit. And I'm just using this as an example. Okay. And in our private Discord, what I'm looking for is to identify wedges like this. And these are our personal plays. So you got to pick your own game, guys, and play the market the way that you need to play it. But I did want to play a little game of live trading with you guys here today. So, and I'd have some music on, except we got to get our we got to get our copyright all situated for the music that we got on our streams. We got to use Epidemic Sounds, and we got to renew that subscription. So we're going to do that so we can get some tunes going. What else is going on? How's it going, John, in the chat? What's happening? We got Jeff Jabomowski saying James Wynn keeps posting Pepe. How's the chart? What do you think? James Wynn is kind of a clown, in my opinion. I don't know. He's just big celeb name, made a ton of money. I don't know. I'm not listening to anybody right now. I'm done listening to everybody for now. I have my own opinions, and they're pretty firm. They're pretty well researched, and that's me and my mindset. That's my opinion. Anything that I'm listening to right now from anybody is really just to get entertainment. I don't really love how big people get. Like, all of a sudden somebody will put out one tweet and then everybody's like, oh, what is this person doing? And it's like, so they had one win that went public or whatever. It's just because somebody's got a ton of money doesn't mean they're giving you good advice, right? Again, I go back to Mark Cuban and I go back to Mr. Wonderful. Like, those guys have given terrible advice to everybody about crypto for a period of time. And I just think you need to realize that, there's this funny saying that I can't really say because it's not appropriate for the channel, but yeah, I can't really say it. Opinions are like blank. Everyone's got one. All right. Look it up. Look it up on the internet. Yeah. So it's that's a saying that came from my dad, actually. It's in other words, don't care. We live in a society where everybody's playing this comparison game and, oh, well, what's this guy doing? But remember that these people that we all look up to, they're going to get it wrong sometimes too. And it's on us. The onus is on us to do our research and figure it all out for ourselves, guys. I don't know if this trade's going to go the right way for me. We're going to see. Yeah. Not in love with this trade. Not in love with this trade. We're going to see if it plays out for me still, though. Very weak wedge. Didn't love this formation. Just wanted to do one as an example. Let's look for some other TA as we're going to wait to see if we get stopped out on that trade. See if there's something else we might be able to find. Dogecoin did look like it was in a wedge of sorts. Kind of wicked above the range. All right. Here's one. If I see Dogecoin get back up to the top of this range, I'm going to go for a little short ski on Dogecoin 2. And I'm going to set a really, really tight stop loss. I think that's the way I want to play it. I kind of missed it. I should have probably done though. Dogecoin's in a really obvious wedge here. Very nice little wedge. Would have been a great little quick short to make a couple $100. Michael in the chat. So imagine Trump spitting his dummy out because he's not getting cuts he wants. Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of a wild time? It's a wild time. The president is using the DOJ as a attack here. Oh man, I really should have shorted Dogecoin. Oh well. We're looking for longs too. However, I'm not really feeling good about opening up a long at the bottom of this wedge just because we're kind of coming through it. And I feel like we're probably about to break through to the downside. I don't know. You can never know exactly what comes next, guys. You just can't know exactly what comes next. Let's see here. This trade's going the right way for now. Just trying to make a little bit on this trade. A little bit, couple hundo, no big deal. That was my wrist popping. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel. We're doing a live stream at least once a week. What's your Cayman license for Crow? Anyone that takes anything to the Cayman knows offshore and dodges my. No. I see why you say that, Michael. I see why you say that, and that's a gut instinct for me too. But that's kind of like, if I were to tell you, oh, I'm from Vegas, and you'd be like, oh, well, you must be into, streetwalkers and gambling and substances. No, I mean, there's people that are regular people that live in Vegas. We can't just assume. No, I don't think so. I mean, that's one license out of so many other licenses, Michael. Think about how many other licenses they have in places that are like, I don't know, boring, like Idaho or something. Idaho's amazing, by the way. I don't know why so many people rip on Idaho. I think Idaho is like amazing. I've been one time. I went on a river rafting trip. It was like the best time ever. One of the best trips of my life. I do have a video coming out about Crow later today. It's gonna trigger a lot of people. I'm so sorry that I'm triggering people. Sorry, not sorry, but I am sorry, kind of. Why I'm not buying Crow right now, and it's a little clickbaity. We're all YouTubers, YouTube, but I'm actually not buying Crow right now, and there's reasons for that, and I think that doesn't mean that it's not a buy for some people. It's personally not a buy for me right now. I'll explain why, and I'll give you a little spoiler. I think we're in a bear market. I think we're going lower. That's one of the main reasons. But check out my video later today on CRO because I think it's one you guys should check out. I think it'll be a very interesting take if you're a CRO holder. If you should get a kick out of it. And join our private Discord. If you haven't done so, we got a private Discord. If you want to join our private Discord when you sign up for Blofin, which is what I'm trading on right now, using the link in the description down below. When you sign up using this link right here in the description of every single video, you will get access to our private Discord. You get into the Discord through this link right here, but you got to sign up for Blofin first. You don't even have to trade to get access to our private Discord. But we'll talk about, our true, unfiltered opinions in there. We got trade signals, not financial advice. None of it's financial advice. As always. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. It looks like maybe... Not too sure, guys. Not too sure. So I'd feel a lot better about this trade if I actually saw, this touching here, and I'd be like, this is a great wedge. And it's not a great wedge. It's a wedge. It's not the best wedge, but it does look like maybe, just maybe, we're stopping out here. And if this trade goes the wrong way again, this is the way I'm playing it. I don't want to risk more than I'm willing to lose. Willing to lose $110 to make, 200-300 bones or something like that, right? And you flip into the profits at a stop loss. It'd be beautiful. Like if I were to bring this down here, look, if it comes down to the bottom wedge, I'm going to make $206. I'll profit, $80, and I risked like 110 to make like 80 or something. So a lot of different ways to play this game. Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to set that anyway. I was just trying to get rid of it. So this is what I'm looking at right now. This is our trade for the day. Not the trade for the day. I'll have more trades. This is just one quick trade that I wanted to make while I was live streaming. So we had something to do because, frankly, crypto is pretty boring right now, right, guys? Yeah, a lot of things with Fed, Chair Jerome Powell happening. There's a lot of drama going on. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of anger going on right now. I'm just like, look, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy this bear market. I'm going to stack some cash so that I can buy the lows. I'm going to trade, try to make some money here. We've been making a lot of money doing trades like this. This trade might not go the same way. Again, you're not going to win every single trade you do, guys. You're just not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. You can't win every single trade you do. You got to win more than you lose. And you got to have a plan and stick to it. And in this example, my plan, which hopefully is working out, was just find a little bit of a simple wedge, 5-minute time frame, 15-minute, even on the hourly. The bigger the time frame, the longer you can stay in the trade. Okay, very simple concept, in my opinion. The bigger the time frame, the longer you can stay in the trade. The bigger the time frame, though, the less reliable it is. Well, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily in some capacity. It's almost more reliable if it's on a bigger time frame. But news matters. There's a lot of things that matter as we're playing this game. It does look like this is, and so the way that these candles are panning out, look, we're getting to the top of the range. This one kind of gets squeezed to a tiny little hamburger. This one, it flips red, finding resistance. This is flipping red. It looks like I'm going to end up probably profiting on this trade. Now I got $31 in fees, as you can see here, unrealized P&L right here, $31 in fees that I got to cover at the bottom of my screen. So that means if this goes to $31 in the green, And that's it. That's and I'm broken even. Right now, if I close it out right now, I'm losing $15. You see what I mean? So little ways, little things I'm thinking about. Just sticking to a dedicated. And if this thing comes, there's a lot of different ways you could play this, right? If this ends up working out, and who knows, and it comes down to the bottom of this range, you could set a stop loss like right here, right a little bit above it. That way, if it bounces, fine, you're going to get stopped out. But if it breaks through, you're still in the profit, and you can keep moving that stop loss down. You can keep moving it down. We'll see here, guys. I'm gonna see this trade through. I'm gonna be here for another, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. We'll hang out. We'll just see. My goal here is to make like $100 on this trade, just to kind of show you guys a little bit of the game that I'm playing with it. I'm sorry, I got such a bad headache, guys. I got a cold running around the house right now. My daughter was sick over the weekend. I'm a little sick today. We're still streaming. We're still live. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's a Monday night tonight. Okay. Let's just see. Are we going to come down? You know what? I'll keep that little X there, actually. Let's keep that little blue X. That's my target. That's my target. I could take some profit if we get down there. I'm going to close this puppy out if we get down there. I'm using 20x leverage here. It's, a little on the riskier side as opposed to like 10. Is that my girl? What are you doing? You say Dada? Dada. My daughter just got up from a nap. She's cute. She's quiet. What are you doing? She's just staring. Just staring. We're $53 in the profit. We're officially in the profit. Very simple stuff, guys. And if you're using leverage to get rich overnight, you're probably going to lose, by the way. Some of the mistakes that I've made with leverage in the past is too hard in the paint, too much leverage, too fast, getting out of a profitable trade right into a not profitable trade, trading too much. Whenever I win and close a position, I usually walk away for a little bit. You got to go walk away and come back for a reset. Yeah. So this is it. Okay. It is 1.3 just by the UK overnight. It's pretty bad, right? Wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the Cayman Islands? What are you talking about, Michael? I missed you. What has the Trustpilot score? Michael, missed you there. But here we go. We are trading. We are trading on this Blofin exchange. Yeah. Pretty quiet out there. Yeah. Seems like the crypto industry is oh gosh, we're just dwindling down. Everybody's quiet. Everybody's defeated. Everybody's quiet. What was I thinking about? Yeah, so this whole concept, this discussion that's going on right now across X, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Everybody's like, oh, the algorithm on X is ruined. I put out high IQ posts with a lot of time, and I put a lot of effort into these posts, and they get no exposure. And I put out like a dumb image or a selfie, and it gets a ton. And we're blaming the X algorithm. What if, and just bear with me, what if, guys, as a society, we are the ones controlling the algorithm? What if, the content that people are complaining about that gets the most views is because unfortunately, the things that people are actually interested in are the things that annoy us the most. Right? What if, because everybody's like, well, the X timeline is just politics. It's like one topic that goes viral for the day. That doesn't seem like anything new for me. It's just that there's not a lot of exciting things going on with crypto right now. And I do think we're living in a time where, the people that have some of the most views in crypto are saying some of the most outlandish things. Some of the most outlandish things like, you know, giant price predictions for XRP that are mathematically impossible. Like comedy sketches, which are quite funny from some of these crypto comedians of sorts, which are very outlandish, right? Choose Rich standing up in a mall saying, you all line up and bow before me. What if that's just the culture that we live in, and that's what the algorithm feeds us what we want, and in some weird way the things that we dislike the most is actually what we secretly want? I wonder. I try to get off X as often as possible. The only time I'm really on X is when I'm preparing content, truly, to come up with some concepts, some new ideas, look at what people are saying, to discuss how I feel about what people are saying. And I assume people want, if you're watching our videos, I assume you want our take on current events and things that are going out. Those are things that we discuss. But Craig, we're talking about how everybody's complaining that the X timeline is, the algorithm's ruined. Is it, or is it just what we're interested in as a society? Is the algorithm just giving us more of what we want, and is what we want not good? And is that the problem, or is it actually X? And I wonder. I don't have the answers. I'm speculating. I'm just thinking out loud. We're also shorting Bitcoin, trying to use some discipline, found a little bit of a wedge pattern, shorted the top of the range, opened it up just right at the top of the range here in the profit. Right now, $67 in the profit, got $30 in fees to cover. So I could profit $30. Got 2 Chipotle burritos. I'm profiting right now. Pretty cool. Got to pay taxes on my $30 profit. So maybe a Chipotle burrito and a half worth of profit right now. That's how we're measuring profits in Chipotle burritos. Chipotle got in trouble for being too expensive recently. That was interesting. Yeah. See the amount of patience it takes to sit here and even do a little quick scalp trade? Just waiting 5-10 minutes in a row, just sitting here waiting. What I'll normally do, guys, by the way, is I won't just sit here and look at the chart either. I'm going to get my discipline going. I'm going to find it and be like, okay, I think this isn't my most high conviction trade either. But okay, here's my level of resistance. So I'm going to short it from here. Okay, shorting it. And then it's going to come down to the bottom. So I'll set my stop loss, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to go do something else. Let me go over on X. I'm going to scroll around on, oh, look, there's a post from Blacksea. This is great. Oh, look, I'm on it. Okay, 10 minutes later, I come back. I'm like, oh, where's my trade? Oh, no, it's going the wrong way. Oh, well, who cares? I got my stop loss set. I'm risking what I'm risking. I don't care. Okay, then I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at some other stories, see what else is going on, figure it out. I'm going to come back to the charts. I will look for some others to see if there's any other stories going on right now. I'm going to pull something else up. What else is cooking, guys? How's the chat doing? I don't know what you were talking about, Michael, with the Trustpilot thing. Can you expand on that? I'm just curious. Let's get a little bit of a news update on this, by the way. Everybody's talking about the president tariffs. The president recently said the United States is in trouble if the Supreme Court doesn't do the right thing in upholding its tariffs. We have to pay hundreds of billions, even trillions back to these countries that we made after we implemented these tariffs. When these investments are added, we're talking about trillions of dollars. It could be a complete mess and almost impossible for our country to pay. Anybody who says that it could be quickly and easily done would be making false and inaccurate or totally misunderstood answer. Very large and complex question. Very, very bold. So, and he even said that even if the Supreme Court rules his tariffs unlawful, he'll find a way to do them anyway. Very, very interesting time. A lot of news affecting, the traditional market a little bit, and crypto, not as much as you might think. It does look like this trade is going the wrong way for me, unfortunately, but that's okay. We're going to set our stop losses. You're going to not risk more than you're willing to lose. I do think this is probably breaking out to the upside is what it looks like, but I'm going to stay true to it. I'm going to see. Maybe there's a little wick fake out designed to get me to close my trade before I flip it to the profit. And it's not for me. No whales are hunting this position right now. Not a big deal. We're going to see. We're going to see. Hold on. Let me shut my window. Shut my window. Turn on my heater. Got a little remote for my little heater under my desk. Perfect. Let's see what else we can find, huh, folks? What else we got cooking? Any other breaking news right now? This is the Crypto Report. I am Crypto Kip, my friends. Everybody's talking about the tariff thing right now. Everybody is talking about the tariff thing. Whoa. Anthony Pompliano with a really bold tank. Anthony Pompliano saying there's a strong argument that Jerome Powell intentionally waited until Sunday night to leak the news of the investigation to the New York Times. He likely did this to manipulate the stock market lower, which he knows is a sensitive point for Trump. We are watching a 3D chess played here by both sides. None of it is good for our country. Really crazy. Really, really crazy. Really crazy, guys. What an interesting take from Anthony Pompliano there. Do you guys agree with that? You think that there is this game being played between the president and the Fed right now, or do they both have good points? I'm reposting this stream on X. What else is cooking? Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't know if my trade's going the right way here, folks. We tried though. I wanted to do a little trading live. Let's see how Dogecoin's doing in that little wedge pattern that I was peeking at, huh? Maybe I should have opened up the Dogecoin trade. I bet you Dogecoin came down to that wedge. What do you think? Did it come down to the wedge? Oh, look, it did. It came down and touched the bottom of the wedge. And now it's breaking out. It's breaking out. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's going to break out. Is it? Let's see here. This is a cleaner 5-minute time frame. Let's see. Minutes 48 seconds left. Well, I'm going to assume that if this candle doesn't close red, then I'm probably going to be on the losing end of this trade. Let's see. We're going to see. Yeah, the fact that Dogecoin kind of came out of this wedge and is showing green topside doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't always play out. Sometimes these are like, nah, just kidding. And for us to revisit right down here where we're chopping would make all the sense in the world. Yeah. What else is going on, guys? What else is cooking, y'all? Not a lot of excitement going on, and a lot of people are very deflated right now in crypto, and I know that. I know that, folks. Hang in there. Hang in there, my people. Hang in there, people. Hang in there. Still could be stopping out there. Who knows? Craig says, my Eagles lost yesterday, so that sucked. Oh, sorry to hear that, brother. Sorry your team didn't win. I've been enjoying a little bit of football lately. Not a huge sports guy. I've been enjoying it, though. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, the way that I'm playing this right now is just looking for simple little wedges, right? I'm just showing you guys how I'm playing the game a little bit. Again, you got to do your own plays, make your own trades, choose your own destiny. But very clear, little wedge kind of playing out. Are we going to come back down to chop to the bottom of the wedge? Maybe not. Maybe not. It's funny, you can kind of use like Dogecoin. You can use a lot of these different in the top 10 tokens. You can kind of look at those to kind of get maybe an idea of where this is going to go. Like just looking at Dogecoin, a little bit of a bullish signal here. Too soon to say. Still could argue we're in the wedge. Let's bring it down to the bodies of the candles. Oh, we're still in the wedge. You know what I mean? So you can play it off the wicks. You can play it off the bodies of the candles. Still in the wedge. Still in the wedge. We're hanging in there, though. Look at this low volatility. I have a stop loss that's so close on Bitcoin, and it still isn't getting stopped out. All right, guys. Well, I'm not going to just sit here and stare at this screen. I am going to leave this trade open. I'm going to leave this trade open. And what I'll even do is so I can I'm going to walk away. Is if this thing comes down and we see it touch the bottom of this range, there's a good chance I could get stopped out in the green here. I'll profit a little over $130 if it goes the right way here. To risk, 100 and 10, something like that. Another way I do this is if I'm going to stick around is I would maybe wait for it to come down here, set a stop loss slightly above, and then hope it actually breaks through the bottom of this wedge. Who knows if it does? I'm going to leave it right there. That way I know that I will make some money on this trade if it turns the right way. Again, did this trade to kind of give you guys an example. Didn't feel great about this trade going in. Kind of just trying to show you guys the method to my madness, which is finding wedges. Just stick with a very simple plan, your own plan. But I like looking, resistance on the top of the wedge, support on the bottom of the wedge. Long support, short resistance. It doesn't always work, guys. There's percentage chances to each of these things moving one way or another. It looks like Bitcoin wants to move higher here. Not surprised, as I mentioned on the higher time frame. It does look like Bitcoin is scooping up a little bit on the higher time frame. But that's it. I'm going to keep this trade there. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'm just playing the game with discipline. That's all I got, guys. I'm Crypto Kip. This is Crypto Report. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. DCA. Hold y'all. 2 videos right here if you want to check them out. Or, well, I don't think those pop up on these live streams, actually. But more videos later today. As always, do your own research. DCA. Hold. See you in the next one, y'all. Peace.